Hey, what's up? John with VideoFort.com bringing you the 5th installment of our Pac-Man training series. Welcome. Today we're going to be covering how to animate and mask the ghosts. I will show you how to do it on one of the ghosts, and then you guys can go ahead and do it on the rest of them. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and bring our board and characters asset down into our game comp here. And we'll make sure that it's on top of the Pac-Man comp. Then from there, we're going to right click on it and choose to pre-compose. We're going to leave all attributes in the game just like we did last time and say OK. From there, we're going to double click on our asset and go right into it. And actually, let's go ahead and rename it real quick. We'll name it, let's name this one Blinky. And these are the names of the different ghosts in case you were curious. And then we'll just go ahead and zoom in. Now Blinky is the red ghost if I remember correctly. And we're just going to put a mask around each one of these guys. Super awesome. So we'll select our rectangle tool. And just like we did on the Pac-Man, we'll draw a mask around him. Then we'll tighten this mask up. Just grab these points and move them over. This one needs to be extended out just a little bit. Perfect there. And then we'll just bring this top one down. And then from here, we're going to rename this layer. And I'm going to name it by the way the eyes are looking. So we'll name this guy R4. Now the R stands for right. The 4 stands for 4 legs. And then we will duplicate this layer here by pressing Command D on the keyboard or Control D if you're on a PC, and we'll rename this one R3 and drop down the transform controls and drop down the mask controls, and then we'll select the mask and move it over to the right. Just shift click. All right. That looks pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and duplicate this again. And this one should be L4. And select the mask and just move it on over. And you'll do this for all of them. So go ahead and continue on that way, and I will join you once I have all of mine masked. Okay, now that we have all of our red ghost masked, we're going to change the anchor points on each one of the layers. So let's go ahead and change the anchor point here. We zoom out, we're going to grab that one. So we'll grab the pan behind tool, grab our anchor point here, and put it about center. We can even zoom in a little bit and make it real good. All right, that looks about right. We can zoom back out a little bit. Grab that one, put it in center. And we will do this for all of them. So, since we are getting so advanced, I will join you once I have completed these last 4. Okay, sweet. So I finished up my last one, and now we are going to put these on top of each other. I'm going to grab my select tool. We'll just start on this guy. We'll move him on over, and I'm going to do Command-Shift-H, Control-Shift-H if you're on a PC, and that's going to take away my mask line so I can see just the ghost. And that's going to make it so that I can line these guys up really good. And I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard and the shift, and I know that they're perfectly lined up when they don't have any blur around them. So notice how there's a little bit of blur around the eyes, and then if I just move it over, it's about perfect. That's how I know. Then I'm going to select D4 with D3 still selected, and we'll just continue on down the line using a shift-click method. Isn't this a fun method? We're almost finished. And then once we get done here, we are going to move our character around the board. Now with Pac-Man, we animated Pac-Man's mouth opening and closing. That was our next and final step in creating or in doing Pac-Man. This one, we're actually going to move the ghost around the board first, and then we'll decide which way the ghost is looking and animate its legs moving. And we do that because we've got all these different pictures of the ghost, and we need to be able to tell which way they're looking and all those other fun things. Notice how they can look up and down. And now I'm just going to go through and make sure all of these comps are placed perfectly. And I'm just turning off the visibility of them and turning them back on. Yeah, they should all look really nice now. This one might need to get fixed a little bit. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and go to our game comp. We'll select our Blinky, and notice how he's a little tiny. We don't want him that small. But first, let's go ahead and create a mask around him, just like we did with the Pac-Man. And we will tighten the mask up a little bit. Alright, that looks great. Now, let's go ahead and place our ghost right up in here. We also need to change the anchor point, so let's go ahead and grab that right now. Okay, that looks great. Then we will select Blinky and press S on our keyboard, and that's going to bring up the scale. We're just going to scale him up so that he fits between these two blue bars nicely. And then we're going to bring him to over here and make sure he fits in between there as well, because we want to make sure he can go left and right and up and down. Let's see how 248 is. Oops. So it moves good through there. And I'm going to grab our select tool. And let's press Command-Shift-H. It looks like he can fit in between here. So that is good. Awesome. So we've got the scale. Let's make him move around the board a little bit. Well, since he's already up here, let's just move him over to the left slightly more. And we'll just have him follow a path where I'll have him go this way, up, left, down, maybe back, and maybe over to the left again, and then up, right, down. All right, let's check it out. We'll set our marker at the beginning. We'll select Blinky, and we'll press Position, P, and we'll click on our stopwatch to set the first keyframe. And let's go ahead and, well, let's just follow Pac-Man's movements, because that'll be easy. So, I'll just shift him over. And let's go ahead and press Command-Shift-H again to bring up our mask and other points so that we can see that. And we're also going to select the pen tool real quick and make sure we right angle our points. It's always important to do. Keeps us on a straight line. Alrighty. And we'll just move forward to our next point. And I'm going to move to about there because our ghost is going to go up all the way to here. Whoa, too far, ghost. Grab him, bring him back. And we'll just continue onward. So go ahead and set all the keyframes for your ghost. And when you come back, I'll cover how to animate him so he's looking the correct directions and his feet are moving. All right, see you guys soon. Okay, so we are back. I have animated our Blinky layer. We've got him going all around the board. Let's go ahead and check out my animation. Yours might be different than mine. So we've got him going up and down over here. Pac-Man's chasing him. Now right here, Pac-Man's going to eat him and he'll change there, but we'll do that later. That'll be one of the last things we do. And so yeah, we've got our red guy animated. So let's go ahead and start animating how he looks around the board. Go ahead and double click into our comp. And actually, let's go back over. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and we'll check out where he starts to move first. So he goes up first. So we'll go right up to this first position keyframe. Since he's going up first, we'll start at the beginning. We'll go into our Blinky comp. And let's select all our layers. And we're going to hit the letter T for opacity, and we'll set the keyframe for all of them at the very beginning. And then we'll select our D4 and D3 opacities and bring them all the way down to 0%, and that's going to give us our up eyes. Then we will select our U3 layer, move forward 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, set another 100% keyframe, move forward 1 frame, and drop it down to 0%, and that'll give us our 4 legs. And let's go ahead and zoom in on our keyframes here so we can see it a little better. So we got that. I'll just do the same thing again. Move forward 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. Set a keyframe. Then move forward 1 more. And crank that up to 100%. And then we'll go forward another 3. 1, 2, 3. Set a keyframe. Move forward 1. Drop it down to 0%. And move forward 3. 1, 2, 3. Set a keyframe. Move forward 1. Crank it up to 100. All right, let's check out game and see where we're at. So we're going to do that until we get to this keyframe. So to see these a little better, we can drag this menu up. And we get like all these different sections here. We want it in this top layer polygon. So not in the tray there, but right here. And that'll split our timelines. So if we select our blinky layer here and press the letter P, we can see just the position points. And that way we know how far we have to go. So as we move this forward, this timeline will move too. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Set a keyframe. Move 1 forward. Drop it down to 0%. And 1, 2, 3. Set a keyframe. Move forward 1. And crank it up to 100. Alright, so we've got a good amount of keyframe set. Now we can probably start copying and pasting. And that's going to make everything work really nice. But let's check out our little animation there. You can see our guy's legs moving. How fancy. Alright, and we started out with 100% keyframe. So let's see what that one is. That's 100% as well. So we can highlight this set of keyframes here. Hit the Command C or Control C if you're on a PC to copy. Then we're going to go on this last keyframe here. We're going to move forward 3, so 1, 2, 3. And then we'll just hit Command V to paste, or Control V if you're on a PC. And that'll give us all these keyframes. And then we can just continue to move on to the next keyframe. Now notice up here we went past this keyframe, so that means that he's going to start looking a different way. So let's check out which way he's looking now. Looks like he's heading on down. So now we're going to go back to here. We'll clear out these keyframes since we don't really need them at this very point. So press delete. Let's check out our game comp again. I'll zoom in on our game comp's time. Make sure we get right on this position. We're going to go just 1 before. And we're going to set the keyframes for D4 and D3 layers. Then we'll move forward once, and we'll crank both of them up to 100%. And we want to make sure that we have both of them at 100% because we'll be toggling the opacity for D3 to view the D4. So if D4 isn't at 100% as well, then it's going to drop our view down to the lower layers, and we won't see a consistent eye look direction. All right, and since we've already keyframed our U3, we can actually use these same opacity keyframes for up here on D3. So we'll go down here, and we want to make sure that we select one that starts at 100%, and we can tell what keyframe it's at by looking over here. So this keyframe right here is at 0%, so if we scrub over just a little bit, we can grab this one that's at 100. So you know that this one starts at 100 and this one ends at 100. We can just grab this group. And you want to do even numbers because that'll keep things even. And we'll do Command C. And we'll go up to layer D3. We want to make sure we're on this keyframe here. And we'll just hit Command V, and that'll paste a bunch of keyframes for us. And we can watch our down move now. We'll just do the same thing. We'll go on the last keyframe, move 3 forward, 1, 2, 3. That might have been 1 too many. There we go. And paste again. And we can watch our guy walk along. All right, so go ahead and do that. Like I said, you're going to have to monitor between the game board and your Blinky comp. You'll use the game board to see which direction your character is moving. And you just want to stay on top of these keyframes here. So I'll go ahead and join you when I have completed doing all the opacity levels for my Blinky. And then we'll go ahead and apply them to all the characters. All right, later guys. Okay, so I've got all the motions set for my red guy, and he's looking the correct directions now. Let's check him out. So we got him up, down, up, down. Looks like I missed one there. Not a big deal though. We can always go in and fix that. But yeah, so now you're just going to go through and do this for all your characters. It's going to be very tedious, but lots of fun. And you'll have a very cool Pac-Man game. So why don't you go ahead and do that to all the characters now. And I will be right back with you. Okay, sweet. So once you've placed all your characters on the board and got them to move, you are complete. Way to go. Awesome job. We're going to be covering how to do the power-up next. That's making them change like this and then change back. So stay tuned for that episode. Make sure to go to VideoFort.com. Check out some of our great and awesome stock footage there. And click that subscribe button in the top right corner. We want you to stay up to date with all of our awesome tutorials so that you can stay learning and be super awesome. All right, that covers today's session. Stay tuned. Have a great day. Later, guys.